much, and I have so many questions. Listen, walking away from the show, you've talked about how you knew it was time to leave, that you felt it, but really, how nervous were you when you had to make it official? People like Oprah and your staff. How did that feel?
I wasn't nervous because one of the things that I've learned is when I get an intuitive hit or guidance to do something, I sit with it until it's solid in me. Because if it's not solid in me, once I present it to everybody else, what I'm going to get from them are my doubts, my fears, my hesitations, because people are going to reflect back to you what you're holding inside. So once I got it, this is done. I just sat with it and went through, in my own brain, okay, what's going to happen? What about the people's jobs? What about your manager? How you going to feed the dogs?
You had to go through that.
By the time I spoke it, I was solid.
It's interesting you said sit with it. Our other guest said the same thing. A lot of times when you're searching for your confidence or searching for an answer, people get afraid of silence.
Yes. I am teaching a class right now called God Works Through Silence. And really helping us understand that when you can get silent and still, you get the deepest wisdom and divine guidance that's available to you. And it'll be in perfect alignment with what's right for you. One of the reasons we don't make really life-altering, life-changing decisions is because we're worried about how it's going to affect other people. But if you can get solid with how it's going to affect you, and then take a stand for that. One of the reasons I was able to say Fix My Life is Done is because each year I work on something. I work on love. I work on joy. I work on peace. I work on service. Well, my principle was freedom. I wanted freedom. Freedom to be, to do, to go. And doing a show, you don't have no freedom. So I took a stand for what I value.
Well, this is why this shocks me, Donald. You talked about the freedom. I was stunned. The team was stunned when we heard that part of that freedom you desired was being free of criticism and being scrutinized, and that people watching the show would scrutinize things like your hair and your nails, and you'd just grown tired of folks being what you said was mean and nasty.
I'm very sensitive to energy. And so, and because you go into people's homes, you're in their bathroom, you're in the kitchen, you're in their lift, they think they know you. And they think they have a right to say certain things because we're not clear and conscious of the energy we send out. So through the email.
So this is what was happening with her, man. She was getting abused by Black women. Black women were not liking the fact that she was calling out their behavior. And they basically were giving her hell and criticizing her online. I'm sure that April Mason was going through the same thing. I am very sure of it. I could bet money on that. I could definitely bet money on this.
Through the social media, people were coming to my home. I was getting death threats because they didn't like something I said or did. And I'm like, I want to be free of this.
I hate to say, but that's a Black woman, and she really doesn't like a toxic Black woman. Let me put that: toxic, not all toxic. Toxic Black women will do this. They don't like accountability. They don't like being called out for how they raise their kids. This one was calling out women for doing horrible things to their child's father, horrible things to their own daughters. And she was doing the right thing. But there are those in the Black community of the Black women, among Black women, who believe you should be on code no matter how toxic we act. And if you dare step away from it, you will be dealt with. Look what they did with Nadiki. They did that to her. Dope discussions. Called her a pick-me. And guess how young was the girl? The girl was very young, within her own family. Called her a pick-me because Nadiki wanted to have a healthy marriage. A healthy marriage. Her only marriage. And a lot of these ghetto, ignorant black women who come in all types of across the economic spectrum don't feel that they have to be critiqued, don't feel they have to do anything in order to get a mate. It's like a woman who weighs 300 pounds and expects to get a guy who's built like Chris Evans. We all know who that person is. I mean, a man could be criticized, get your money up, do whatever you have to do in order to, before you get a woman. But when it's the reverse, now it's you're shaming the black woman, you hate the black woman, you hate your mother. And when a black woman decides to say things like close your legs and open your heart, like IyanaVanzant said, now she's getting the death threats. Now she's, people giving her hate mail. And this is what black men have got for telling the truth. And she's getting this. And I wouldn't be surprised if a black woman gets killed for telling the truth about the behavior of toxic black women. I would not be surprised. If you're a Derek Jackson, if you're a Pastor Poppy Don, if you are just a super simp telling women are beautiful, women are, single mothers, no matter how many kids you have, you still deserve a man. No matter how you act, you still deserve a man. He has to be able to just take it. You will make money on YouTube, make money in the real world. Dare you tell the truth and actually look out for their own personal well-being as well as their kids? You're marked for death.
I don't want this.
You were getting death threats?
Yeah, I got death threats around certain shows, around certain issues, around things that I said. People come to my home, because with the internet, they can find you anywhere. And, they would come to my home. They would call me. I know you don't know me, but I need help. Wait a minute. Hold up. And I have so many vehicles and avenues where I serve people. I'm on social media. I have classes. I teach. You don't get to call me on my private phone at 2:00 in the morning. Mm. And so I just wanted to be free of that.
You wanted to be free.
That was more important to me.
Young, I know in 2003, you lost your daughter, Jamia, to colon cancer. And you've said of that moment that it didn't impact your confidence, but it did make you feel like a fraud. Help me understand that feeling. What was that?
Well, I'm flying all over the world helping people. I'm supporting people in their growth. And then as mommy, my pup was sick and there was nothing I could do. Cancer is a formidable challenger. So I'm like, how can I help people save their lives and fix their relationships? And my child is sick and there's absolutely nothing I can do but stand here. So I was walking around feeling like, of course it was the ego just making me crazy, but I was walking around feeling like if I can't help my own, how can I help other people? And it was really a challenging time. It was really a challenging 31 years old in her home that she owned, because that's how she lived. She lived like that. And I remember when they brought her body downstairs, I said to the undertaker, I said, I want to close the body back because she doesn't like the dark. And it came to me, I said, wow, God must really think that I'm a strong person to give me the privilege of bringing her into life and the privilege of supporting her as she moves to the other life. So I closed that body bag and I told her it's going to be okay because I knew she didn't like the dark. And so just doing that, I was like, okay, there's something else going on here. Let me tap into that.
She is such a strong woman. She is such a strong woman. I respect her. I respect this woman so much. The fact that she went through so much, you dealt with the criticism of your own gender because you did the right thing and you had to deal with that. This woman has so much riches to give to Black women who actually want help, but they refuse. They refuse. They refuse to be able to humble themselves and learn. Just like, you know, us men, there's very a very thin margin for error when it comes to us men. And we have to get it together. Otherwise, it's a life of obscurity. We get checked. Life just comes at us hard. And we have to just adapt. But for women, especially in the black community, majority of them, not all, they get entitled, they get told lies, you know, and they don't want to learn. And then when you hit with the truth that men have been telling for decades, probably their fathers or men that actually gave a damn about them, they ignore it. And then when a woman tells the truth, now they get violent, now they get angry. And it's sad because this is the only way you're gonna win. And it's like men are ahead of the game when it comes to accountability and have to take it and take their lumps. But women are just slowly dragging behind, killing, giving death threats to any woman who dares try to correct them and dares try to help them to be able to have a fruitful life, to actually literally genuinely help them fix their life. And unfortunately, she had to dust her feet and go somewhere else. Can't give your pearls to swine forever. Can't do it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Later.